time for our inspirational speaker. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Reverend Laurie Pelham. Laurie's spiritual journey began when she attended PSI, Psychic Studies Institute in Albany, New York. She is also a graduate of the School of Spiritual Healing and Prophecy here at Fellowships of the Spirit. She is a registered nurse with a specialty in mental health, spending most of her career running and working in various crisis units. She has a certifications in Reiki and therapeutic touch, and has done healing in the hospital setting and also with animals. She is a Lilydale resident and enjoys singing in a chorus and being in nature. And now, Reverend Laurie Pelham.
Thank you. All right. I might lose this light. All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
So you already know from this lady here that today's talk is going to be about digging. And so I've decided to break things up into two parts. I'm going to begin by talking about the spiritual meaning of digging, and then go into something a little more interactive. Now you got the shovels out back there. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to do tonight, and I hope you dig it. Oh, last one of those, I apologize. All right, so in a spiritual sense, such as regarding digging, like digging wells, and I quote, "The resources of heaven can become the sustenance of the earth." In other words, you put in the hard work, and now you are ready for the opportunities to come, rather than waiting for a sign. It goes beyond the first moment of inspiration that can sometimes seem fleeting or ungrounded and requires continuous action. There are 4 detailed spiritual meanings of digging. Number 1, seeking truth and knowledge. For example, digging deep within oneself to access hidden wisdom and understanding. Number 2, spiritual growth and advancement. Digging can represent the process of clearing away obstacles to make way for spiritual progress. It can symbolize the dedication required to cultivate a strong relationship with the divine. Number 3, finding resources and opportunities. Digging can symbolize the quest for spiritual treasures. And lastly, dealing with difficult situations. Digging can represent the need to confront difficult emotions, memories, and current situations. So for those of you here that meditate frequently, which I think is about everybody in the room here, and also those of you who've taken the 100th Monkey class taught by Mark Thomas, we learn that when we have deep meditation, we can bring up these unhealed wounds. These are things that Mark has called boulders, and we bring these up to the surface. And so as we dig them up, we recognize them, we feel them and experience them, and then we can dispose of them, which makes us feel freer and lighter. Because frequently we may have thought that we had gotten rid of the memory or had a little awareness of the impact it was continuing to have on our lives. So for myself, recently in a deep meditation, I had a boulder come up, which was a memory of, when I was writing this, I kept going many years ago, when my mother actually had said something very hurtful to me. And at the time, I thought, well, you know, I kind of can shield myself from this. But as I relived this experience, I could tell how it had taken a little bit of a toll on me, and I was very glad to get rid of it. So now we're going to come to the part where I would like to change gears and engage in a little more of a less scholastic way. So as some of you may know, beginning in this past March, every morning I have been engaged in what I call spirit writing. So for me, it's not automatic writing where my hand moves, but rather I receive a download, I hear it, as I'm hearing it, they dictate it, and I write to me. And also along with this, there's an interesting backstory, but we're not going to talk about this today, but maybe another time, because I wanted to stay on topic. But I will say that when I was trying to decide what to write about, I said, well, why don't I just ask Spirit? So on April 14th, I said, when we do the writing, give me something I can read that will have a reference to digging. So before I do the reading, just a little bit more regarding the information that I get. I feel that you're going to be hearing words of guidance, words of inspiration, and upliftment. Sometimes people, I've been reading these, they like to have their eyes closed. There's a lot of feeling the energy, feeling the information. There's a lot of rhyming that goes on. So some of the rhyming is basic, some of it's kind of clever, other times it's really just about receiving the content. And after I'm done, I'm going to be doing a little deconstructing of the writing. I'm going to need a drink first, though. All right, here we are. Bring in the truth and the wisdom from which you now will become the goddess knocking from within to come out and explore again. The many wonders of the earth, the times of sadness, those filled with mirth, trudging through the daily yawl, keeping pace with God through it all. For it's in the keeping with the sum of all you seek that you become. In keeping with the heavenly stars, or spending lifetimes kept behind bars. Of never seeking to explore, to find out that in life there is more than just taking on that daily chore, tinkering and trying once more. To hope that God will hear your prayers. Some are humble, some all about theirs. We appreciate these pleas from you, pointing to the direction you already knew. The wisdom stored down deep inside, all men have, none are denied. The sum and tenets of its worth are more than planets circling Earth. When first trying to imbibe of the secrets kept inside, keep silent and yet still alert, for the magic to prepare its work. To fill you with that peace and grace, soon to be evidenced on your face. Filling in the lack and woe, with love and stillness to bestow. This godness with the outer helm, turning to oneness, all our friends. Making strides most every day to blossom forward, come what may. The best is in the inner being, unsolicited knowledge for the keeping, enjoining you with love and grace, a greater solvency you could not replace. So I bid to encounter all, living justly, no longer small, instead imbued with love and peace, helping each soul's journey to complete. My compliments please take within, no longer encumbered by fears of sin. No, instead, you are a piece of me, bright in the firmament, living free. I wish to tell you the very most. It's about Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Doing God's work, this daily task, brings to no better place of which you could ask. And so when I write these, I read them over and over because there's really a lot more to them than just the basic words. And I just want to point out a few things with them. I laugh because in this first stanza it talks about the goddess knocking from within to come out. When I've been doing a lot of these writings, and also I'll have thoughts and they'll address them or I'll ask a question. So this part about the goddess, I laughed to myself because I was going, all these things always say mankind, man, and then I was like, oh, okay, they're listening to what I'm thinking here. This other, and also too, sometimes I get these words I don't know what they mean, which I like because I know it's not coming from me. So this one part was trudging through the daily yawl. And I'm like, I know yawl is a boat, but I know that's not what it meant. So I looked it up. Another meaning for yawl is weeping and howling. So trudging through that. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all these, but the ones I really like. This part here is just, you could read it again and again. For it's in keeping with the sum, S-U-M, of all you seek that you become. And then this other part, in keeping with the heavenly stars, or spending lifetimes kept behind bars. So it means look up to the stars, look up to heaven, look up to God. The bars can be if you were spent time in prison, anyone, I'm joking, but the prison that you can put within yourself, you know, when you don't do the exploring. So then I thought, okay, where's the part about the digging? I need to find that. It's in here someplace, and I feel it's this part where it talks about this wisdom stored down deep inside that all men have. So that's within us. And I also like, there's this, you know, reference to meditation, about the secrets kept inside, being silent and still. And the other fun part with this was to fill you with that peace and grace soon to be evidenced on your face. So we all know when you meditate in a group and you look around and people are like, you know, kind of thing. Two last ones, quick ones. This part about in joining you with love and grace, a greater solvency you could not face. So I'm thinking solvency, it's not turpentine, it's not a solvent. So solvency, as we probably know, is when you have money. You don't have to worry, you're solvent, you're not in debt, so you're free. You're free that way. And I also like the other part where it talks about bright in the firmament, because for me, I was like, firmament, I haven't heard that since Bible school, and I think that it means heaven, and it actually means the heavens when regarded as a tangible thing. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and thank you for your time.